Hi, today we're going to be installing some Dow WALLMATE foam board on the walls of my garage right now, but this is the perfect system for inside a basement. The material is 2-inch thick, extruded polystyrene foam, and there's a little notch every 24 on center, because you can see they come in 8-foot tall, 24-inch wide pieces, so every 24 on center there's a place to put a nailing strip. Now the instructions say to use the furring strips, and you can buy pre-cut furring strips at the big box retail stores, but I didn't like them because every one of them I looked at was really warped and they just seemed like really cheap wood, plus they were just a little bit too shallow to sit in these grooves nicely. So I bought sheets of OSB, and this is 3/4 inch OSB, and cut it into strips 2 3/4 inches wide. It's a lot stronger material, will stay straight forever. It works really well. One of the things I like about it is that it sits in the groove out just a little teeny bit. It sticks out about 1/16 of an inch, so that if I happen to put the tap cons in really tight, I don't want to have a bow out here so that the drywall is going to show. I would rather have a little bit of a reveal there. Now there are some instructions on the internet on Dow.com for installing this stuff, but honestly they're not very good instructions. I downloaded them and looked at them. There's about 3 pages, but they're these little cartoon guys that are installing this stuff. And some of the things that they tell you to do in here are like scoring the foam and then breaking it like you would a piece of drywall. But I can tell you that that's what it does right there. If you score this 2-inch stuff and try to break it, you end up with great big curved goofy pieces like that. So the best way to cut it is actually, if you want to score it when you mark it, but then raid the kitchen and get a little knife. This is just a little paring knife with a serrated edge on it. I also have a bread knife over there that works really well for cutting the foam board. There's some other things in this instructions too. They want you to use drywall corner bead for inside and outside corners, but I wanted to have something a little more structural because the foam board tends to bow out just a little bit in spots. So I decided to do the corners a little bit differently. I also want to show you that Dow has some great stuff, wall and floor adhesive, which is made for adhering foam to just about anything. Works even really well when it's cold and when it's damp. I bought the Pro gun. It's an extra 50 bucks to have these cans that shoot like that. It's a whole lot easier than working with the great stuff that comes in the little disposable thing. This way you don't have to use the whole can. When you're done with it, you can actually screw this valve closed and leave it sit for up to 30 days. And you can just keep reusing the same can. You can also change cans in the middle if you wanted to do a door or a window. You can take that can off and put the can of door and window foam on and reuse it. So it's a really better way to do it. Another tool you're going to need is a good hammer drill. This is a DeWalt hammer drill. It's really powerful. I took the handle off just because it was kind of getting in the way. The Tapcon screws that I'm using came with a bit, but I bought bigger drill bits. Or a little bit better one, and they're specifically designed for Tapcon, but this is a little bit tougher drill bit than the one that comes in the box. Don't make the mistake of buying the drill bit that comes with a big fat end on it unless you have the type of drill that takes that kind of drill bit, because it wobbles a little bit and makes the hole just a little bit too big, so you want just the regular drill bit. Another thing, when you're going to drill, and you'll see we're going to do a demonstration putting up one of the strips of OSB, we want to pre-drill the holes that are in those because we don't want to bend this drill bit. It's about $8 and I've bent 2 of them trying to drill holes through wood with a masonry drill bit. The Tapcons that we're using are the 3/16, 3 1/4 inch Tapcons, just with a Phillips head. I'm countersinking them in there so that I don't have to drive them in really fast. One of the things about Tapcons to know is that these things actually tap threads into the concrete block. So one of the things that you don't want to do is race them in really fast. You're supposed to drive them in nice and slow, and you'll feel them starting to cut threads into the cinder block. If you go too fast, then you'll either strip it out or you'll end up breaking the head off of it before you get it all the way driven in. I tried to use ram set nails in these cinder blocks, and boy, it was a nice and fast way to go, but they weren't holding very well. We did a sample on a cinder block where we shot a ram set nail through the cinder block and watched on the outside of it, because it was just a bare block, and on the inside it took out a great big cone, and it just wasn't holding really well at all. And I wanted to be able to be sure that these things are not going to move, because I'm going to hang some cabinets and things on the wall too. So Tapcons are good. You're going to need enough of them that you might have to buy stock in Tapcon. I think that's about it. We're going to go ahead and shoot a second video, so watch for video number 2 of us actually installing one of them. Thanks.